Did you get the information about the networking act? Oh, I think you liked it, didn't you? Networking in Tri-Cities.
Yeah, I looked on it. Sorry, my laptop's being weird now. I looked at the email dates, and the 24th doesn't work. I can't go. But I can in November.
Okay.
So.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. So we can either talk about finding new customers. We can talk about hostess coaching. I can talk really fast and talk about both. Let me see what else I sent you. Is there anything on there that you're like, I want to cover this? Oh, there's thank you notes and customer service, some on referrals. What would you like to go over today and next week? Everybody give me a vote of some sort.
Well, I think getting people better prepared to host a class, making sure they're doing their part of it so you're not having to babysit them.
Okay. Well, yeah. It's actually a systematic way for you to babysit them.
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of make sure you do your follow-up with them, but make them want to, make them want to be accountable for it and to get people to the classes. So I think a review of that would probably be good.
Okay. And the funny thing is, sometimes we call them, but we don't know what to say. Are you inviting people? Yeah. Okay. Like, what else do I say? So I think I have some stuff to help you with that. Elizabeth, Anita, what would the two of you like to cover?
I think I'm on the same boat with not knowing what else to say on calls. Going over, when I'm talking to the hostess, there's not much.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not covering that enough for them or for me.
All right. Anita, how about you? I know your thing isn't always a hostess-based thing. She's frozen. She's got a really funny look on her face. The frozen. Is she frozen for you guys?
Yeah, she is.
My screen shrunk to just you. I don't know what I did wrong.
Go up in the corner and hit the button with the little squares. Did you find it?
No. I mean, it's only you, and you're like the size of a flip phone screen.
There's like a little arrow thing up in the corner. Okay, so let's talk about hostess coaching then. You can hear me though. I'm going to keep talking while you fiddle, okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I have two different tools for you with regards to parties. One is more at the class and one is before the class, okay? Anita, do you want to give me a topic, what you'd like to make sure we cover?
Well, I'm just still working on calling the people that I already need to call.
You want me to find a magic pill to take the fear out of you. That's what you want.
Yes, exactly.
Right there with you.
Imagine how rich I would be if I found that magic pill. I thought that's called alcohol. I thought somebody already come up with
There we go. Okay, if I was a drinker, that would help.
Yeah, I'm not a drinker either, so there might be an oil. Don't you have a non-fear oil, lady?
There are some oils that get over fears. So maybe I need to use some.
Really? Nice.
Maybe we need an emotional healing.
Emotional clearing,
Yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe you just need a massage from Elizabeth.
There you go.
Oh,
Massage.
At this point, I'm willing to take anything.
A glass of wine, a massage.
There we go.
I know. I'm a massage therapist too, and we're the last ones to get a massage. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking a trip to the Bahamas, and then I'll be good.
There you
go.
I just don't want to wait that long.
You can do a lot of drinking on that boat.
Right.
Isn't it like, oh my gosh, it blows your brain. I mean, I remember seeing people, coming off a boat with like $2,000 bills for alcohol on the ship.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen huge, because they just give you a card and you just slide it and you have no idea how much it is, and it just. We got two. I just loved them. They were pineapple. They hollowed out the pineapple and put the drink in them, and I just wanted it for a picture. It was the only thing we bought on the boat. They were like $16, $20 each. And they were like yogurt based. They weren't even good. Anyway, I had a really cute picture though, but yeah, $32 for these.
I guess not being a drinker will save me lots of money.
It will save you a load of money on those boats. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, sorry, so off track here. Okay. Hostess coaching. Let's get over some fears of our crazy hostesses. Okay, we love them, but sometimes it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my little take on hostess coaching. Okay, there's the whole, who do you know that's your friend, that's your neighbor, that's your family, goes to church, school with kids. There's those Frank, all those different things. Okay, and those are good. Okay, but quite frankly, you both have a very particular kind of product that it comes down to, like, you need a person who does or likes or has a certain lifestyle or a certain situation in their life, okay, for them to be good clients for you, okay? So what I want to do is help you get your people to think about people in certain circumstances or situations instead of just their 5 best friends that are easiest to invite and will come eat their cheesecake, okay? So that's where we want to get them brainstorming about how do they know in certain situations. And it's all back to these questions, like, do you still love me? Even though, like, I hammer, you got to ask questions. Okay, I won't ever quit talking about it. So if you work with me, you have to know that's what's going to happen. Okay, so on this sheet, the hostess coaching sheet, who do you know? And what are the reasons why? So in the boxes A, B, C, D, and E, what you need to do is put some questions in there with who do you know who uses alternative medicines would be a great one to start with, because it's going to be pretty easy to sell to them. Who do you know who's pregnant? Who do you know who has children? Well, I'd put those questions probably together. Who you know is pregnant or has children? For Anita, who do you know who traveled somewhere other than camping this summer? Who do you know that took a trip that involved a plane? Who do you know? You want to have some great who do you know questions. And like each of you have specialties. Like I know Elizabeth has some specialties in certain areas of what she loves about doTERRA and her kind of testimonials, why and how it's worked for her. So you want to definitely clue into those because you're going to relate to those people really well. And then you want a couple that your product does, but you don't necessarily know everything about, but still will give you an opportunity to talk to people. So I want to help you get those questions down. The question is going to always start with, who do you know? Okay. So if you have a piece of paper there, I want you to get 5 questions written down for your A, B, C, D, and E. And the thing is, Anita, this is also basically how we do referrals. And you were at that meeting where I taught this.
Right.
I'm wondering, okay, you know me, I come up with these ideas with, my brain pops and I talk before I totally think sometimes. But I'm curious if there's a way for you to start doing more referrals. And so the people that come to you, they're not connected to you. Like, I think you need to just start talking to people who aren't connected to you. So if they aren't your friends in the long, quote unquote, I say that loosely, friends in the long run, it doesn't matter. You're not worried you're going to lose something.
Right.
Like you and Melissa, like, need to go to, I don't know, to Wenatchee or something. Because they're like, you need to get away from people because you're like so worried about losing the connection you had with people. Right. Anyway, that's like a major hang up with the two of you, and it's fine. I mean, it's not a criticism. I'm just saying you got to find a way to get over it.
Right.
So anyway, but can you see how, who do you know? Like, Amy, what are some of the types of situations that you are just passionate about treating with these oils? What what circumstances do you love to help people with?
Pain.
Okay,
And,
pain management.
the ADD and ADHD, because we've dealt with that. And then
Broaden that to childhood neurological disorders. Okay.
so just kind of all that kind of stuff. And then just basic health, not having to run to the doctor all the time. I mean, I'm in the military and a lot of my friends are, and it's free healthcare where we go, but it takes forever to get an appointment. Sometimes you do have good doctors and sometimes you don't. And it
basically lives socialized medicine.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's okay when you have a good doctor, and thankfully I have good ones that I'm assigned with that I really like. But I mean, I've had horrible times too, and it's just, I see all my friends that go in for, constantly going in for stuff or constantly sick, and it's just, there's actually solutions for that.
Right.
So,
right. Exactly.
those are kind of my 3, and then also with depression, because I've had to deal with that a lot too.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right. So do you see how you're going to write that down? Who do you know who I would say struggles with versus have?
Yep.
And don't you kind of have to be careful, like diagnosis words that you use too?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to make sure too. You can't say that this is a cure-all. It just these are basically the oils that have the tools to give your body. The oils give the body the tools they need to be able to heal itself and to correct problems and stuff. So yeah, it's just
perfect.
There's a lot of wording you have to be careful with, but it's it's kind of gotten second nature. I don't worry about it too much, but
right.
You just have those radar words you got to stay away from.
Perfect. So Elizabeth, tell me a little bit about who else you would put on your list. What different types of situations? Is there anything different that you would add on your list versus Amy's?
I focus more on the pregnancy as well. So I go over what oils you need and I do the ADHD, but I more focus it to any kids. To kind of deal with the wording, I say how to help your kids focus naturally.
That wording, that's really nice.
And then pregnancy, morning sickness is the big one that everyone seems to complain about. So going with how would you like to have a week without morning sickness?
Do you work with any midwives or doulas?
I have one doula that I've been talking with that she toys back and forth with enrolling, and then always comes up with a reason financially why she can't. So,
doulas are slaves that pay for their hobby, really. I love being a doula, but boy, I didn't make any. I mean, I wasn't in it for the money, but it's pretty fun.
And this area, you don't really have many doulas. I think there's only 2 of them really that I've even heard of. We have another gal that's training to be a doula, and yet again, she uses the oils. She just doesn't want to enroll. She just buys them when she needs them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
gotcha. Okay, so you've got some particular areas. Okay. So Anita, if you had some gal who was excited about this and you wanted to help him or her, like jumpstart their business and invite some friends, I would see you using it in that way. So you had a new enrollee. Let's see if we can get your 4 people. Let's invite 12 and hope that, 6 show up. What questions would you ask?
The first one you gave me, who do you know that took a trip that had to fly this summer? Who do you know who loves to take cruises? Who do you know that is looking for a way that needs to make extra money in their month? Who do you know who is unhappy in their job and is looking for something else? Or who do you know who loves to travel?
Excellent. You might want to do something like international travel. Who has a goal to see all 50 states? Who, didn't you say there's something with kind of discounts on hotels?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if they have kids in sports, like high sports, like,
Right.
we're always traveling for, swim meets and stuff. We're not as much right now because Porter's in high school sports. Like it's changed a little. Well, when we do triathlons in the summer, we could travel a lot. I mean, it kind of depends on what we choose to do, but that's kind of another one too. Like if you think about different situations where if it's not a business paying for, well, it's a reason somebody else would travel, but it not necessarily be for pleasure.
Right. Did I give you my website?
Yeah.
Because you can use my website and not be a member. I explained that, right? For hotels and air.
I haven't looked at that one.
Okay.
I've only looked at the other one.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to looking at that one. Okay. And are there better than like Expedia and those things?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because Expedia only goes to one site to get their information. We go to 3 or 4.
Oh.
And our engine is constantly searching for the lower price. Not trying to use this place to sell, but
no, you're fine.
But yeah, so it's constantly looking for the lower price. So if you book a hotel and it finds a lower price, it will automatically rebook you and refund you the money onto your card. So you don't have to use my product as a member. You can just use my website just for your everyday travel.
Okay. Yeah, we need to finally sit down and talk about that.
Yeah.
All right.
You might have to share that website.
All right.
Too.
That would just break.
I'll be happy to help with that.
Well, Anita needs somebody to practice her calling on.
Oh my gosh. You're hilarious.
So you can say no, okay? You can totally say no. So Elizabeth and Amy, would you be willing to let her give you a call sometime between now and Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to look for a hotel anyway because I've got continuing education, so go for it.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay.
So do you want to do you want to say them out loud or do you want to put them down in the chat? Because this is recorded. Do you want to put them down in the chat, your phone numbers for her?
I'll put them down in the chat.
Okay. Thank you, ladies.
So Anita, you can do this, right? And they're going to be nice and they don't care how the phone call goes and you don't need to be nervous. And okay, like I know you'll still be nervous. I know I can say that all I want, but call them, okay? Because they know what you need to say. Like they know you need to ask questions and it doesn't matter if, just enjoy it, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Me and Elizabeth are some of the nicest people I know along with you, okay?
Well, thank you. Thank you, the girls.
Okay, no problem.
I'll be calling you.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, yeah, I feel like I just did something really good today. Okay, so back to okay, so back to this thing. So you want to have those 5 different questions. Okay. And then at the bottom, then you have next to these boxes communication styles. Okay. So the way I divided these up were people that either use Facebook, people that are text, or people that are old school, meaning you've got to get on the phone or send an email. Because the fastest 2 ways for most of the people we talk to are Facebook and text. But, I had several friends as of 6 months ago that if they had cell phones, but they weren't texters, and you still had to call their home phone. And I have to admit, my relationship with them wasn't as good because I'm a texter now. And I feel really bad because I still care about them. But if I can't send them a quick hi on Facebook or a phone, and I know I actually have to get on the phone, it's really hard for me to find a block of time. I can talk to kids and throw in a batch of laundry and I can text you forever because I can keep doing other things and they might make noise and I can even scream at a kid. You know what I mean? But it's very hard for me to slow down and make a long phone call if it's in a social situation. Is that just pathetic of me or not? But that's just the way it is. And so, Elizabeth, I love how you laugh at me. You're so cute. You have the best smile. But I want you to help your people put next to them what's their communication style. If you know they don't get on Facebook, you don't see them Facebook stalking you and liking everything and updating you on their kids threw up last night. That is not your Facebook person. They're not going to see the invite. You know what I mean? You've got to explain this to them. And I know we all try to explain it. Well, Facebook events don't always work, but that's like about all we say. We've got to train them. Let's go through your list of people, mark what you're going to do, and then you send them sample texts. You send, you put the Facebook event on, add her as an administrator, have her add people. You be putting information out there about why they want to come and why it's going to be valuable to them. So if you see, there's like a little 14-day plan down at the bottom. And Elizabeth, where you hold your own events pretty frequently, you can even hold yourself accountable on this too. You can use this as a way to take your event and be promoting it on Facebook, sending out texts, and then it can't hurt. You could add on here emails and then old school that you've got to call them. And you still want to tell your people to call and remind all their people 2 days the night before, and even texting. I mean, people need a text an hour before the event. Okay. How many, like, I get home at night, I have that, Mary Kay or Pampered Chef or Tupperware. And like 2 days ago, I may have been kind of excited to go. And now I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to leave the house. But I need that text going, come, we're having chocolate cake. Okay, I'm coming. Okay. Like we really have to remind people an hour before now. It's just the way it is. When I was doing direct sales, you could do it like a day or two before and they'd remember. People are just busy in a different way. And I think it's because we have so many distractions, like Facebook and everything. I think it's real easy to like get doing something and forget you're supposed to go to an event. So those are ways to train your people, your hostesses. And when you have a brand new world venture person come in and get their 4 people started, this is a great way to get them to think about who needs that product. Because it's not about getting as many people there as you can if none of them care about what you do. They're all homebodies, or I love going to the doctor every time my child complains about their ears. There's some who just love going to the doctor. I have family members. I'm like, are you serious? You went to the doctor? Okay. I'm kind of I'm not an anti-doctor, but I definitely don't want to go any more than I have to. Or some people they feel like, I don't know, just they feel like they're better parents the more they go to the doctor sometimes. I kind of feel the other way around, but anyway, to each their own. So help them find the people that want the products you have. Okay. So the other thing that I have for you with regards to how to help you during your parties is that paper that it says customer info sheet. Okay. So do you guys all see that? Now, let me tell you how I use this in my other life when I was doing direct sales. And there's actually a couple things I would add on here that I need to have this redone. I have a web design, my graphic design gal after I put it down on paper, she makes it look pretty and professional. So I need to tell her to change this. So you've got name and email. And I learned have any of you been to a Taste of Home cooking show before?
I haven't.
Really? None of you? Okay, so Taste of Home, there's the magazine, and then they have these cooking shows. They've been to Tri-Cities. Like, Anita, you have to go with me next time they come. It's so fun. Anyway, so it's this big cooking demonstration, okay? But they have these cards and your contact information, and they said we put little boxes for you to put your email address in because there's a much higher likelihood they're going to be able to read your email and get you in their system if they're little boxes. So that's why I add boxes. You learn from other people, right? You learn from smart things. Don't reinvent the wheel. So that's why there's little boxes on the email address. And then I just put some of the most common endings that they can just circle. Okay. I would also put Facebook, Google, Instagram, some of your common kind of mom ones for the oils. I would put LinkedIn on your world travel one. Okay. So I would add some social media, just like the little logo and they can just mark a box off, yes, they're on there. And I'd go find them and try to make them Facebook or, whatever connection, whatever their way of doing it is. Okay. Twitter, if you're a Twitter person, then their phone number, do they text yes or no? Okay. Those are the things you need. You don't need if they order from you, you're going to get their address and all that other stuff. Okay. Oh, phone number. You need phone number. I said that though. Okay. All right. So then you need some basic, these are real similar to the questions on like a questionnaire for a booth or an expo. They're not exactly the same, but really, really close. And then there's a couple things that you can have on there with regards to recruiting and regards to sales, which I know are slightly similar for both of you. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested would you be in learning more about making money with this business? Now, the reason it's such a bad idea to put on there yes or no is that most people are, well, maybe, depending on what it costs, what it takes, what it involves, how much do I make? Do you see what I'm saying? So if you have someone that puts over 6, 6, 7, 8, and they're going, well, I might tell you no, but I'm kind of curious, then that scale of 1 to 10 gives you a whole list of maybes. 2, well, they're kind of curious, or they wouldn't, you know what I mean? They have a lot of, they're worried about something, or they're hesitant, but there's a little bit of interest. And then the other thing is, how we've talked about motivational styles? Are they change the world? Are they money or titles? All those kind of things. Hostesses have the exact same thing. You have that person, that person who says, I don't care what I get for free. Don't push them to buy stuff. I just want to have them over. And if they like it, great. And then you have that person that's like, how much can I get for free? Right? You have the change the world people, and you have the money and titles person. It works every time. Okay. It comes right back to hostesses. So the question I have on there with your different types of, which of these is most important? Getting free stuff, having friends over, making, delicious food for my friend, sharing the love of the product, all the above. It gives you an idea if people are change the world or if they are money and titles. So when you talk to them, and number 1 is get free stuff, and number 4 is the love of the or that would probably be number 2. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, when you're talking to them about booking their parties and you're trying to get in your hostess coaching them, you have to keep nailing with them. Oh, no, I know you wanted that free oil, or I know you wanted that free whatever, or that perk, or you just have to keep going back to that thing when you know that's their trigger. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's why I put that hostess question on there. Like I said, I'd add that recruiting question. And then on the bottom, with regards to referrals, what you want to do is you want to have a couple questions that you actually say out loud. And I give this paper out when I'm almost done, but not quite. You want to do it before dessert, before you've totally said your last and final words. But you don't want to hand it out at the beginning, because if they hurry and go fill it out and they haven't heard your presentation, their opinions on some of these things may completely change. Okay. So now they've seen your product. They're so excited about it. At the bottom, what you want to do is, this is where you get referrals. And it's almost the same questions. It's very, very similar questions to your hostess coaching thing. Who do you know who has this situation? Who do you know who has this situation? And then you ask them to put their name and phone number. Say, would you please let them know that I will be giving them a call, and everybody who puts a referral at the bottom will put your name in for a drawing. Now, if you have 10 people there, I'm telling you, not all of them will give you referrals. But if half of them give you 1 to 4 referrals, you go home with double the names than when you started just meeting people there. Okay? So the referral thing is really, really fun. And we can go more into that next week if you'd like to. So those 2 things with the hostess coaching and the customer information sheet are 2 ways that I use to increase my sales, increase my attendance, and increase the names that I end up getting from the event. What questions do you have on those 2 forms?
I think, I think it's just making it so that it will fit, fill in some of the questions. How often do you use, so you can have it ready
Right.
for them that night, which I can see how this will really help towards I have one that kind of has some of that, but it doesn't add the referral part at the bottom. So I like that where you can have another drawing just for referrals.
Cool.
Or even, one thing I probably would add to mine is, would you like to, I don't know if it's on there. No, you already did for hosting a party. Okay. So just see if they would. But yeah, it's really good.
Thank you. Can you see using that, Anita, with new people coming in and getting there for people?
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful. And like you said, the referral part of it gives you 5 to 10 names you didn't have before. I was just sitting there thinking, okay, what can I do for a drawing? But I remember that our company came out with a market of products with their logo on it, beach towels, beach bags, blankets, that kind of thing. So I could purchase some of those and give those away for drawing. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Very smart. Elizabeth, how do you see yourself using these forms, or do you have any questions?
I like them. I like the fact that you can get the referral part on the bottom. I was kind of looking at it going, I should do that just for, like you were saying, the booths, just have that as well. So it helps fit, so I don't, because that's my problem is you have so many pages that you're going, okay, where do I use this, when do you use that? And then if you can use one for the 2 things, it's so much more likely that it'll actually use it.
Yeah. Yep. And this is a good one to use for one-on-ones too. So, but all of your business, both your businesses are you can do a lot with one-on-ones in your businesses. So, okay. So tell me next week will be our last week for this class. I really am hoping that most of you will join me for the leadership class, because I'm really, really excited about what we're going to cover. But I think it's because most of my awards, it's not that I didn't win awards in sales, but most of my awards were in recruiting and team building. And I love team building and recruiting. I just think it's so much fun because I get to see other people succeed. And that's a much bigger high for me than when I succeed.
Right.
And so I just love it. I just do. I absolutely love team building. So I really hope that you'll continue with me and join me. And if you guys have questions let me know. But what out of these forms I have on here, what else would you like to cover? Would you like to cover customer service, referrals? Well, what else do I have on there?
Sorry, I just closed them all out.
Let's see here. I don't know if you need to go over questions anymore. We can review that if you felt that was needed. Oh, and then networking. There's networking and finding new customers. That was another thing that's on here, which is a recorded one that I can send you easy enough that you guys can watch that over and over again if you're trying to get those questions to stick in your brain. But I do have to get little people from school, so tell me what you'd like to do next week, or you can email me and let me know.
I think I need to think about it and process it, and email you or text you.
Yeah, do.
Okay.
Do you know what you need, Elizabeth, or you want to send me a message?